In today's English lesson, you are going to learn at least 11 different idioms or English phrasal verbs we use that have something to do with the season of fall or autumn. So let's get right into it. You might hear native English speakers say fall apart. Now, you might know the verb fall. That is a verb. It can be a season, but it can be a verb, and we have many different English phrasal verbs we use with fall. But when we're talking about falling apart, this mostly has something to do with emotions. So to fall apart means to break into pieces. Now, that could be like something you've built that isn't put together very well, and something happens and everything falls apart. But it can also be that emotional thing I was talking about earlier, or to stop working emotionally. And that is what I have for the picture. Here we have a man clearly upset. He's definitely emotional. It looks like he is very sad. And we find out that his dog has passed away. So here is the sentence. After his dog died, he started to fall apart. And sometimes people can fall apart so much emotionally that they will need to seek professional help. They will either need to go see a therapist or a psychologist, maybe some kind of doctor to help them over that difficult time. Now, let's go to the English phrasal verb fall behind. Very different. Still uses the same verb fall, but it's used in a different way. That means to not move as fast as others. We have this poor young lady here. She looks like she is injured. It looks like she might have fallen and broken her arm, and she had to miss some school. She fell behind in her homework after falling and breaking her arm. And in the background, you can see a calendar. Maybe she missed a month's worth of schoolwork, and now she has to. Do you know the English phrasal verb that is the opposite of fall behind? It is to catch up. So hopefully she can catch up, do a little extra work. I mean, it looks like she has a lot of books that she has to get through to catch up, but hopefully she can do it. Next, we have to fall through. Please let me interrupt this English lesson for just a second to tell you that I am offering speaking classes. If you would like someone to practice with so you can improve your English, I could be that guy. Use the code FALL15 to get 15% off your speaking lesson. Again, same verb, very different meaning. That means to fail or not happen as planned. We have three friends here. It looks like they had some plans. It looks like they were probably going to have a picnic. You can see one of the friends is holding a picnic basket. There is a soccer ball on the table, and that red thing that is shaped like a circle. Do you know what that is called in English? It's a frisbee. They also have a map. So maybe they were planning on going to a park somewhere kind of far away, have a picnic, play some frisbee, play some soccer, but their trip fell through. For some reason, their plans fell through. Here's a sentence. Our trip to the park fell through because it rained all day. And I'm not sure about how I'm recording this during the fall, during the autumn, and all summer. We haven't had rain. It's really dry out there. I'm wondering, how is it going where you live? Are you getting plenty of rain? Are you having a nice fall? Maybe you live in the southern hemisphere, and so now you're getting ready for summer. Where I live, we are definitely getting ready for fall. But what if you fall for someone or something? Those two things are very different. So let's talk about the fall for someone first. Usually has something to do with love. Okay. To start liking or loving someone, it's mostly love. Take a look at this picture here. I believe this is in India. You may know this summer I did visit India and I stayed in a neighborhood that looked very much like this. But if you look at their eyes, oh boy, it looks like they are falling for each other. They are falling in love. Here's a sentence. He fell for his neighbor because she was so beautiful. Well, by the way she is looking at him, I would say that she is also falling for him. But we can also have like you fell for something. And when we talk about that, it means somebody is trying to fool you or somebody is trying to trick you and you fall for it. That means you don't realize you are being tricked. To fall for something is different. It means to be tricked or fooled. Scams. You know that word in English, scams. Scams. My phone is somewhere over there, but a couple times a week, I will get a text message saying I could earn like $3,000 a day. I don't fall for that. I know it's a scam. In English, we have a saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So this man has like a stack of cash. He's like, hey, I can let you make a lot of money. And hopefully the man holding the coffee will say, sounds too good to be true. Hopefully they don't fall for it. Here's a sentence. He told me he was rich and I fell for it. Now we have an idiom to turn over a new leaf. And of course, what makes idioms so difficult is that you could know the verb turn. You can know what a leaf is, but when we use it together, like turn over a new leaf, unless you know that idiom, unless maybe you grew up with parents who spoke English and you learned it as a baby, or maybe you watched an English lesson like this, there's no way to really translate what turning over a new leaf means. So let's get the definition. It means to start fresh or to start new or to change your behavior for the better. So let's take a look at this young lady here. She looks like a very good student. She also has books surrounding her. She's doing some writing there, but maybe last year she was not a good student. She didn't study that hard. Maybe she didn't come to school very often. After summer vacation, she turned over a new leaf and studied harder. The next one here, bundle up. This is something that as the weather gets colder, you probably want to do. At my house, it's just me and my wife living there now. My children are off at school, so we tend to keep the house pretty cold to save money on heat. So we can do other things like travel instead of keeping our house warm, but we will bundle up on the couch. We may put a extra blanket over us. So bundle up means to put on warm clothes or warm things. Like I said, you could bundle up with a blanket. But here we have a mother and she is telling her child, listen, it is cold out there. You are going to need a sweatshirt. You're going to need a jacket. You're going to need a hat. And then you're going to need this blue thing to wrap around your neck. Another question for you. Do you know what that thing is called in English? Something you might wrap around your neck to keep you warm? It's a scarf. And I am in my classroom right now, and a couple of my students brought up a good point that it sounds like scar. Scar and scarf sound similar, but are very different. What about this English phrasal verb? This one's not too bad because it almost sounds like the verb, but to change up something, it means to do something in a different way. So here we have this young man, and guess what? He is studying his English. Now, a lot of times he will study by reading, which is a great way. Maybe you have the subtitles on for this video and you can read at the same time, but he wanted to change it up. So instead of reading, he is going to listen to a podcast. Here's a sentence. I wanted to change up my English learning. So instead of reading a book, I listened to a podcast. We also have this woman here. She is changing up her workout routine. So way over in the corner, something you can walk on or run on without going too far. We call that thing a treadmill, but she is lifting weights. So maybe she wanted to change it up. Instead of going on the treadmill, today she is going to work out by lifting weights. Instead of working out in the morning, I changed it up and worked out in the afternoon. So I have a trivia question for you. I really don't have a prize for you. It's just if you get it, you're like, good job. Okay. You can write this in the comments. Yeah. And then maybe later I will put the answer. But what city is this woman working out in? So take a look. There is at least one landmark that should help you. And I will give you one small little hint. It does take place in the United States. What about this? To drift off. To drift off. I'm not sure if this is really about fall, but the definition has something to do with fall. Okay. So this man is reading a book, and I'm not sure if you can tell, but he is actually sleeping. So he has drifted off to sleep. To drift off means to slowly fall asleep or lose focus. And sometimes in my class, yes, I might be the most exciting teacher ever. It's not true. But sometimes my students will drift off. So I might have to go in front of their face. Hey, wake up, look at me. So they might be drifting off, looking out the window. But I do keep the windows closed, like the shades. I keep the shades closed so there will be fewer distractions out the window. Let's take a look at a sentence. In this, I asked AI, show me a man in Mauritania who is reading but drifted off to sleep. Last night, I drifted off while reading by the fire, never making it to bed. I have another question for you. How often do you fall asleep on the couch or in a chair in the living room and never make it back to bed for the night? You just spend the whole night sleeping on the couch, maybe. You drifted off. You didn't mean to fall asleep on the couch. Maybe you were watching TV and you fell asleep. I can answer that by saying never. I can rarely fall asleep anywhere but my own bed. It is a little annoying sometimes. So, these next couple English phrasal verbs, we are going to use the word rake. Just wanted to make sure you knew what a rake is. That woman is raking up leaves. Yes, we might have that English phrasal verb. It is a bonus one, though. Rake up. She's raking up those leaves, and she is putting those leaves into piles. I can see 3 piles of leaves in that picture. We have this English phrasal verb here, to rake in. I wish I was raking in some money right now. This usually has something to do with money, to earn a lot of money easily. So take a look at this picture. AI sometimes doesn't understand idioms. This is kind of an idiom because it has nothing to do with a rake, but it's also an English phrasal verb. We have people working at that coffee shop actually having rakes, and they are raking in money. But no, this is an idiom. And it just means to make a lot of money. The coffee shop rakes in money during the fall festival. Yeah, you can see a lot of people there standing. They already have coffee, though, which I think AI kind of messed this up. They made a mistake, but I kept it because I thought it was funny. How about this one? To leaf through. Have you ever heard of that? To leaf through a magazine, to leaf through a book. Actual paper copies of books are becoming more rare. So it might be hard to find a book with like actual paper, not an ebook. But that man is leafing through the magazine. So let's get the definition. And then I have another trivia question. Like, what city do you think that man is in right now? There are a couple clues. I'll tell you in a minute. But here we have leaf through. Nope. This is leaf through. That means to look quickly through a book, magazine, or papers. So maybe he isn't actually reading it. He's just leafing through, maybe trying to find a good picture or a good article to read. The title of that magazine is a hint on where that man is. But let's get a sentence first. I leafed through the magazine while waiting for the bus. Yeah, looks like that man is leafing through. And guess what city he is in? He is in the city of Juba. Juba, South Sudan. The title of that magazine is called Juba. Not sure if that actually exists, but I want to thank you for sticking through. Another English phrasal verb, sticking through until the end of this English lesson. I hope your English is better. If you're looking for another English lesson, right down there is something YouTube thinks you are going to like. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.